rice and super duper fly. Juicy, keep them hypnotized. I said my name is Juice, America's most. Ain't no half stepping. See you at the crossroads.
Money over on my install. Here lies them getting paid, but never take a loss on my install. Only take a when I'm dead. I'm gang 3 times on my install. Been from the cradle to the grave. Now your favorite rapper name on the install. Too late, you already lived.
It was written in the children's story. Their life's up, so what you want? Every day I struggle with it. Only God could tell me slipping. I'm infinitely big through the genesis. Dead presidents, drop a gem on them. On earth, these the last days. Throw your get money, quiet storm. Have a dogs for the cream renegade.
Scouting points are earned every week. Use all your points, as a portion of the remaining points will be lost when you advance the week.
Fingertips, reservoir dog to the skull. Ignorant, can I live? Still feel me, kiss to death, forever take your neck. Three boys in the Cadillac, grave digger, kiss to death, forever take your neck. Shame on the three boys in the Cadillac, grave digger.
Money over on my install. Here lies them getting paid, but never take a loss on my install. Only take a when I'm dead. I'm gang 3 times on my install. Been from the cradle to the grave. Now your favorite rapper name on the install. Too late, you already dead. Right now I'm on the edge, so don't push me. Troublesome to 9 to 6. You a shook one, Reeves and all the ledge. I'm your. What's that? I smell. Let me count my 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, run. Hi, my name is Dirk Cobain. Like a here I go to the next episode. Ain't no damn this explosive Beast Coast. The mother ride or die for my strictly for my survival of the fittest. That's the sign of the police. I'm in deep cover earth, skirt, lean back. Give me one more chance. They say Jesus walks and the devil wear Prada, but I'm so deaf. God can't tell me nothing. Right this on my death certificate. I gave you power. 21 questions.
Hey everybody, it's the coach. Welcome to the special Saturday edition of the NFL on EA Sports. Up next, we've got a good one on tap between the visiting Houston Texans and the New York Jets. With that, we head up to MetLife Stadium as we'll hand it over to the two men that'll call the action, Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis.
All right, thanks, Coach. EA Sports coverage of the National Football League is on the air. A few moments ago, the crowd here was on their feet as their beloved Jets made their way out of the tunnel. They're ready to go. We're ready to go. And it should be a good one as those New York Jets get set to face off with the Houston Texans. Hi again, everyone. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And, Charles, you look at this Jets ball club. They come into this one knowing it's been a while since tasting victory. They've dropped 4 in a row.
Can they remember what it was like to win a game? In these types of situations, you're looking for someone to inspire you, and it doesn't have to be one of your best players either.
Meanwhile, for our visitors, the Texans, they've come in on a nice run of recent form, 4 wins out of 5.
And this coaching staff has to be pleased with how their defense played last week. They held their opponents to 3 points, and that was it. If they get anything comparable to that performance, this one's in the bag. So out come the Texans for their opening drive. Leading the charge will be their quarterback, always fun to watch, Deshaun Watson. That was a solid performance last week, wasn't it? 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, ran the team well, won the ball game. Bottom line, may not have been earth-shattering, but it didn't need to be. And he'll get it up near the 35, right at the 34 here. He'll wind up getting 9 after tucking it and running, so it'll leave him with 2nd and a yard. I think the last 2 plays really illustrate how difficult it is to game plan against this guy because you know he can throw the football, but how about his use of legs as well, what we call those broken plays? You can't account for them. Yeah, those plays, those 2 that you just mentioned, a microcosm really of how he can hurt you. Touchdown, Houston! Will Fuller, his 2nd touchdown on the season, and the Texans have taken the early lead. Well, that's how they envisioned it, get the football to start the game and score it. And I don't know if that was scripted. Was it an audible? Or was it just a play call that they had in their pocket? No matter what, they had the right call on against the right defense, and they end up in the end zone.
Kaimi Fairbairn on for the extra point. Extra point by Fairbairn, up and good. And that makes the score 7-0. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. Darius Stewart now on the return. And he is out of bounds as they'll start up past the 30. So now here comes the Jet offense as they get ready to take over. And they'll be led out by their quarterback, the former Louisville Cardinal, Teddy Bridgewater.
And what I loved about meeting with him before the game was talking to a guy who takes ownership of his performance. 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions last week, but all he focused on was the loss, okay? And he did say, if I change my stats a little bit, not necessarily for me to look better, but that'll help my team.
Now we're run. This is Bilal Powell. And that didn't fool anybody. He's going to be dropped in the backfield. It'll be a loss of 1, and that'll bring up a 2nd and 11. We've become so accustomed to it, you sort of take it for granted.
You really do, but he is so good that every team in his division...
Now he's hit, and Bridgewater loses the football.
On plays like this where the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back. Because this is a quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from it.
And he's going to go down again. The former #1 overall pick, Jadeveon Clowney. He's the one to get him, and that's sack number 7 for him on the year. Man, he got in there so quickly, Charles. What could the offense have done to adjust and account for that?
But what you're hoping is that you figure it out and you see and get a clue that maybe there's going to be some pressure coming at you, and you change the blocking schemes. Maybe you go to max protection. The biggest one is maybe you bring your running back in to try and keep you clean. But in that case, that didn't happen. 0 accountability, and a sack resulted.
From the end zone, Watson. Flushed out right. The catch made by DeAndre Hopkins. The receiving numbers for Hopkins a week ago. He was inching up towards 200 yards receiving, couple of touchdowns, and I think you said it best at the end of the game. It was a pleasure to watch his performance, wasn't it?
Absolutely, because you and I both know none of those numbers came by accident. They were a result of him being in perfect sync with his quarterback, and boy, it was beautiful to watch.
Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that first down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
On 2nd and 10, Watson. Incomplete. Will Fuller was the intended target, and it's 3rd down.
Sometimes the coverage is so good, no matter what you're doing on offense, you just can't shake anyone free. They try their best to find someone open, but they took away every passing alley, every angle, and shut the play down.
Throwing on 3rd down, Watson. Then he's got the completion to Hopkins. And he'll be corralled well upfield right around the 40-yard line. At 21 yards there as they convert on 3rd.
The goal for any offense versus his own defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball on the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route. That complete to Lamar Miller. And able to rip off a big chunk of yardage before being dropped inside the 40. Chewing up big yardage. Another nice gain there. This one goes for 20.
Nice little nifty play for him there. That's the ability to read a defense and utilize players that don't often get picked up in coverage easily. And I'm talking about being able to use the backside of the backfield. Because I know that when I used to cover, Hey, we got everybody oh, he just stuck out there, and they just got a nice first down there.
What do we love to say? Get those backs into space, right? And they were able to do that there. Nice pickup on first down. And a nice gain of 21 yards.
Looked like the defense put pretty good pressure on him, but he's able to flush out to his right to try and evade people. On the run, had to get on his horse. Still accurately throws a nice pass for a first down.
The Texans with a first opportunity now from the red zone. They have a 1st and 10 at the 18. From the red zone now, Watson. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up 2nd down.
That's very well timed there defensively because it's not a bad throw, but the collision came at the exact time he was reaching to bring in the football. Really, really well done.
Decent offense, just better defense. I think you're right. Escaping the pressure right. His throw caught right around the 6. Texans passing game in rhythm right now, picking up another first.
I don't care who you put on him. He's going to be a handful in one-on-one throws.
Yeah, right now, you're right. They're in man-to-man. Maybe need some safety help.
I would say that'd be a good idea. Double team him somehow. I'm going to have to make someone else beat me rather than let him shred my defense.
Come back!
They come out here in the eye. Now it's Watson. And he fires one incomplete. There's no denying they want to get him involved. That's already the 5th time that they've looked his way in this first quarter.
So that tells me defensively that they want to insist on going in that direction. Make sure you get your best people in the area to try and take that away.
They shakes him off. And he can't hang on. That's definitely going to be one he wishes he had back. Incomplete in the end zone.
Well, that wasn't a completion, but it wasn't a sack either. So the good takeaway, able to extend the life of the play. Normally you would think he'd just take off and run downfield. He was trying to find an open receiver, unable to do so.
Now yet another incompletion here as they fail to connect on 3rd. You can tell they were hoping for a flag there offensively. Several on the sideline motioning. Hey, why not a penalty? Why not a penalty? What did you see?
Yeah, I think you've got to let them play, and the officials are instructed. If there's contact coming from both sides, no flag. Let them fight it out.
And forces 4th down. They go for it on 4th and goal, but that winds up incomplete. So the defense has to stay out and get one more stop. They were able to do it, forcing the incompletion.
So on their record, that goes down as a successful play. It doesn't matter how they got there, how it happened. They got it done. They're the ones that are jubilant.
With Charles Davis, Brandon Gaudin with you. It's the Jets in possession as we begin quarter number 2 here. They face a 2nd and 7 to start things out. This is the running back, Powell. And a short gain here as he gets it up only to about the 6. They'll get a couple yards on that one, and that's going to bring up a 3rd down.
Some of these play calls, I think they're a little conservative, but you know me, because it's easy to sit up in this booth, right, and make all the calls and think I'm going to be correct. But I would like to see them open things up, because otherwise this defense is going to gang up on the run and shut them down.
Dumps off to Powell. And he gets it up to the 10-yard line here. It's a 4-yard pickup, and that'll bring up 4th down. Instead of throwing it downfield, Charles, they just tried to dump it underneath there. You like the call?
I do. I think it's a high-percentage play because you get the completion. What you're counting on is your back to use his legs and his elusiveness to make people miss and pick up the first down. In this case, it didn't happen.
Now a look at Will Fuller as he and the rest of the offense gears up to get ready to go again. Well, he's within shouting distance of a 1,000-yard season. Going to need a pretty good finish, though, if he wants to reach that mark.
Well, I like how you phrased it, partner. He is within shouting distance. If he stays on this pace, he's got a shot at it. But he needs a big game in there, right, to make sure that he gets it. So you know that during the week, in practice, and look, he asks for the ball all the time anyway. He's really going to ask for the ball and let his quarterback know he's open.
And he'll lose yardage here, back at the 47. They call that a loss of 6 yards. And it's 3rd down now.
Well, that's the big drawback to this play. Even if somehow the quarterback pitches it, he's not immune to the big hit. In this case, he kept it and absorbed it anyway.
Watson now to throw on 3rd down. Hard throw, complete.
I wonder, Brandon, I just wonder, you think maybe he was worried about where he was on the field? Was he far enough? Was he close enough to the first down sticks?
Absolutely. He was right there by him, and I think he was thinking first down before he caught that football.
Yeah, got to catch it first, because if you don't catch it, there's no chance of picking up a first down.
New York set to take the field. The partner just looking at some of the struggles they've had this season. The playoffs are not in their future. As they start to peer toward the offseason, what moves might they make?
I think the running back position, and I know we talk all the time about the NFL being a passing league, but the teams that run the ball effectively, they're the ones that go deep into the playoffs and go to the Super Bowl. They have to upgrade here. And you and I both know in recent years in the draft, people have shied away from taking a runner early, but if there's that special one there, I say they go get him.
Second down, Bridgewater. It's caught on the left side by Curse. And he will lose yardage and be backed up to the 24. That'll be a loss of a yard, and it leads to a third down.
They completed the screen on the perimeter, but boy, that was textbook defense. Exactly as you're taught to play against a wide receiver screen, and they snuffed it out for a loss of yardage.
Throwing is Bridgewater. Now he's hit, and Bridgewater loses the football. And the Texans say they have it. They do.
When I see a play like that, I come back to risk-reward. I don't know about you, but is it worth it at that point, whatever you're going to pick up, to either take the hit, and in this case, lose the football?
So it should have gone down. I mean, hindsight's always 20/20, but that's the safe play.
You're exactly right. Hindsight's really never wrong, is it? Because you can analyze it, but I think ultimately you got to look at it as a first option, taking care of the ball, getting what you can, and that's it. Don't worry about it anymore.
And not much of a hole there as he gets it down to about the 24-yard line. Avery Williamson there to make the stop.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
Coming up at the half, a reminder, we go back to Orlando to check in with Jonathan Coachman. He'll have a look back at our first half as well as a look ahead to what's coming up later this weekend. He's going to let it go deep for the end zone. Oh, he almost had it for the pick. A great chance there for the interception in the end zone. Instead, third down. They're going for a receiver there. Already has one touchdown in this first half. A second one not to be.
I like where their headspace is, though. I mean, I really like the thought process, right?
And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off by Buster Screen. And the return will stop right around the 25.
Well, the timing is everything on a route like this. He tried to drive that football into a tight spot. And if you're a little early or a little late, chances are there's going to be someone there. And sure enough, this one's going the other way.
Following the interception, here's Bridgewater. Got an open man, it's a noon one. A gain of 6 there on first. And it's a rush to the line right now for the Jets. Bridgewater now on second down. Now he's hit, and Bridgewater loses the football. And the Texans scoop it. And it's a touchdown.
But isn't it fun to see how a defense rallies when there's a fumble return and everyone tries to find someone to block and bring it all the way home?
I always like their celebrations because they don't get their... And you can bet they're preaching 2 hands on the ball here as the kick's away following that fumble return. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And New York set to take the field. And that last possession, really a gut punch. You seemingly had it working. You were in the midst of a very strong drive, then suddenly the fumble, and you're watching the back of a defender's jersey as he brings it all the way in the other direction.
There's not much more I can add to that. I thought you summarized it perfectly, partner. You just got to regroup and start putting another drive together. That's all you can do.
And the first play of the drive there is incomplete.
But one thing that I've liked defensively is that they've shown them a lot of different looks here in the first half. They've come after them. They've sat back. I think that's what you need to do to keep an offense guessing.
And they certainly have kept them on their toes. That's why they haven't had much success on the scoreboard.
False start, offense.
pass, and they jumped.
Yeah, and if we saw it, you know that they saw it. The bad guys might have been coming on that play. Had to pick them up, and they jumped.
A second down throw for Bridgewater. And his throw is incomplete. He was trying for his running back, Bilal Powell. And that'll make it third down.
It's been my observation there's been a nice variety of play calling defensively. You and I often talk about an offense's ability to keep a defense off balance with what they're doing. I think the converse has been true in this game.
Yeah, I think you're right. They seem to have gone off tendency quite a bit, but only the second quarter, a lot of time to change things. Just a 1-yard gain on the play, and that'll mean a call to the punt team as it's fourth down.
J.J. Watt makes another tackle there, and it's for a minimal gain. And let's face it, if that's all you're going to get running the ball, you're not going to have much success against him and his team.
Well, yeah, you better find a way to go around J.J. Watt, which isn't easy to do.
It's really not, because you got to try everything.
And now out comes Houston. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious, because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack them here.
Come back, come back.
Throwing again on 2nd and 10. Watson. He'll buy some time right. A good cover defensively as they get to him just beyond the 45 after the juke. And before they can run this third down play, we're going to get a timeout, as they'll stop the clock with 24 seconds to go in this first half. The Texans on third down. They've only converted once in 4 tries. This time it's 3rd and 3. Out of the gun, Watson. And that will be incomplete with a clock showing 18 seconds now to go.
You hear the calls for a penalty, but I just don't think so. I think in this situation, the defender was making sure his guy couldn't hold on to the football. So I don't see anything that warranted a flag.
No, I'm with you. There was contact, but I'm happy they kept that flag in the back pocket. And he didn't quite have the backspin on that one. It hits at the 4 and continues into the end zone. It's a touchback. Final 12 seconds of the half now, as they've got it 1st and 10. Now a first carry for the former Cleveland Brown, Isaiah Crowell. And he'll power his way up near the 25. It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up 2nd down. They'll come up 2nd and 6 now from the 24. So we have reached halftime here. It's the visitors, the Texans, out in front. As we'll send you down the coast now to Orlando. That's where we find Jonathan Coachman, ready with our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, thanks very much. We'll get back to you and Charles in a minute. But first, time to give the folks at home a look at what's going on around the NFL. Some great games coming up this weekend, the first of which comes up on Saturday.
We now proceed to the start of the second half. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. This fielded at the 2. And he'll be brought down at the 23, make it the 24-yard line. Now the Jets offense gets ready to head back on the field. They come out here with a 0 on the scoreboard. What was said in that locker room? That's what I want to know.
I would love to have been in there, because we often have the feeling that there's a lot of shouting, screaming, people upset. But typically, halftime locker rooms are a lot more.
And now off to the races, down the right side. And all the way in. Touchdown, New York. Robbie Anderson, 76 yards. And the Jets have made this a one-score game. That's a score you felt they had to have here in the third quarter to get back in this game.
And you know that there was an emphasis on their side. Hey, we know this. We know where we are. But sometimes that binds you up so much that you try too hard, you don't get the score. A perfect combination of urgency, yet relaxed enough to get it done.
And not a bad return. Here he gets it out to the 25-yard line. Here's the Texans offense now, readying for their first possession of the second half. Certainly want to avoid what they had to do last possession. That was pump the football, because this game's starting to tighten up.
In a basketball sense, you think about taking a little bit of the air out of the ball, right? Maybe milk some clock, limit the possessions. In this case, they might want to do the same thing, but control the game offensively. Put together some first downs, put together a drive, and keep it away from them.
From the 50, it's Watson. Oh, incomplete. A turnover would have really helped there. Almost intercepted. Instead, it's just second down.
Well, he did almost everything right. Excellent coverage, breaks on the football, just unable to haul it in and take it the other way. So he dropped an interception. The key for him now, don't dwell on it. Just move on to the next play.
To throw is Watson. So the long attempt falls innocently to the ground, and it brings up third.
Well, partner, I think the defensive fellas got the memo, and they decided to cover him on that play.
Yeah, he's already up over 100 yards in this game. They tried a deep shot, couldn't get it.
Yeah, when you've had that much success, finally someone said, let's try and put a stop to it and put people on him.
He finds his target, Fuller. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. The 21 yards there as they convert on third. He's such a good route runner. Shows it there on third down. Very proficient and a good pass.
And you know what I've observed over the years in the NFL? The better a route runner you are, the more confidence your guy's going to have in you to go to you in important times, because he can trust you being in the right spot, and they connected there and picked up a first down.
Two big plays in succession. Not sure this D knows what hit him, but now they got to get ready. It's first and goal. To the air yet again. Watson. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out. Incomplete.
Once you get into the red zone and the safeties have less ground to cover, you'd better be quick with your delivery. Not much space to get a ball in there.
Yeah, when that field shrinks with those safeties, it's almost like there's a couple extra defenders out there, right?
It certainly is. They end up taking up extra space just because there's not enough space for receivers to run through.
And he can't corral it. Maybe a big missed opportunity there defensively in the end zone. And now third down.
All right, Captain. It's batting down the hatches time defensively. Dodged 2 pass attempts to the end zone. Now what do you think they're going to try and dial up on third and goal?
Well, knowing them and knowing what we just see. And it's intercepted at the goal line. Picked off by the linebacker, Kevin Minter. And he may want to track down that football because that's interception number 1 on his career.
You're saying that's going into the trophy case?
I'd put it there.
Yeah, no doubt about it. That's when you ask the equipment guys to make sure they hold it for you after the game. But you play.
Now he's hit, and Bridgewater loses the football. And the Texans say they have it. They do.
Brandon, that's the 3rd time he's fumbled so far in this game. And, you know, you can make excuses for each and every one of them. But the bottom line is he's got to take care of it better. And now that he's shown a propensity for fumbling it, just think about it.
And he's going to go down. Sacked right around. On second down, here's Watson. Fuller brings it in over the middle. And he'll go down here right around the 23-yard line. Only 3 yards on the catch. It's third down.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across each zone.
And for a 3rd time tonight, he's intercepted. Picked off by Tremaine Johnson. And he's going to take this one back to the 37-yard line. Well, that's 3 picks he's now thrown in this game.
And I know this, the holiday season, because here we are in December. Right, it is the season of giving. Maybe for his own sake after the game, he may have to announce that he's donating certain amounts to charity for each interception that he threw.
Throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up second down. Trying to get their tight end involved finally. That's the first time that they've looked his way. He's kind of been a forgotten man in this offensive scheme.
Yeah, didn't look his way at all in the first half. And I'll bet you the offensive coordinator made a note at the half and said, let's get him involved because he could be a big-time playmaker for us.
And he'll have it past midfield almost to the 40 before being taken down. A good pickup there, a 22. First down, Bridgewater. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out, incomplete. Ball on the 42 as they come up 2nd and 10. On 2nd down, here's Crowell. And down inside the 35, he goes to the 32-yard line. 9 yards on the pickup there as they'll be left with 3rd and 1.
I thought that was a good call. Passing situation on 2nd down. They hit him with a draw instead and pick up nice yardage.
Yeah, because the draw, they're thinking pass when they see that initially defensively, right?
But you know, in today's NFL, most of the time on 2nd and long, when it's a passing situation, pass rushers are on the field and they're only thinking one thing, get to the quarterback. And oftentimes you can bypass them with a running play.
A loss of a yard, and it brings up 4th.
Brandon, we're into the second half, and this offense has not scored a lot of points, and that was another example of why. I think it's time to open things up and start really trying to move the ball.
And Santos able to put this one up and through. It's good, but hang on, a flag is down. Now, if it's on the defense, they might decline it and take the points.
Roughing the kicker, defense.
Well, we looked at each other right away. We knew that flag was coming out.
And I always enjoy the conversation post because officials always tell you, I don't want to throw the flag, but you caused the play. You did it. I had
to. His second touchdown of the night. And the Jets are an extra point away from tying this thing up. Don't forget the extra point. It's up and good. And we are tied here in the 4th quarter. Set to go now with the kickoff. These two teams all even again as we continue in this wild 4th quarter. This fielded a few yards into the end zone.